Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, I wanted to provide you all with an update regarding the situation in Louisiana. As you know, three black churches were burned to the ground, and a suspect has been arrested. His name is Holden Matthews. Initially, he was just charged with arson, and now the charges include hate crimes. So, what I'm going to do is share a couple of articles with you all. I know it's very early, so most people will not be tuning in right now. Hopefully, you'll be able to catch this later. So, if you can bear with me a second, I'm going to share my screen. So, as reported in the Washington Post, it says the man accused of burning down three churches in Louisiana has been charged with hate crimes. As you know, he burned down three predominantly black churches in a single Louisiana parish over 10 days. Now, it says that the St. Landry Parish District Attorney Earl Taylor filed charges against Holder Matthews on Monday. Those charges included hate crimes perpetrated against an individual because of their race, sexual orientation, national origin, disability, or other protected status. And they said that the district attorney declined to comment on those hate charges. Now, the thing that makes this whole situation odd is that this guy is a son of a local sheriff's deputy. And as I mentioned before, like, he was previously arrested and charged on 3 counts of arson for setting the fires. And the churches that he burned down include St. Mary's Baptist Church, Greater Union Baptist Church, and Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. And according to this article, it says that he has pled not guilty to all the charges on Monday. The officials pointed out that they found evidence, including a new photo and video evidence of Matthews' phone, on his phone, basically placing him at the scene of all fires. It says that his phone contained photos of the fires as they were starting and after first responders arrived. And it says photos also indicate that Matthew had returned to the crime scenes after the fire burned and there was just rubble remaining. And also it says that there's a 10-second video showing him discussing the fires with a friend and mentioning that gasoline would be an effective method for starting a blaze. Also, it says that there was evidence showing him superimposing himself over news reports claiming responsibility for these fires. So if this evidence is correct, it's clear and obvious that this man committed this crime. I want to know more about the hate crime charges. Let's see. I want to know more about why they decided to charge him with hate. I mean, it seems like it's obvious and clear. I mean, all the churches that he targeted were African-American churches, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that that's obviously deliberate. And I think that obviously it's a hate crime, but I want to get more information. And here's another article from BuzzFeed. And let me just go to some of the points here. There are a couple of additional points that are raised here. It says that the additional hate crime charges confirm that authorities believe that Matthews targeted churches because of the race of the attendees. Yeah, and that seems clear to me. I mean, just given the fact that they were black churches, all three of the churches were black. Now there have been some suggestions that he was just against the church, period, uh, not just black churches or whatever. But if that's the case, why were all the churches that were targeted African American churches? It says that the suspect has no history of arrest or violence, according to the authorities. And then this goes on to say that investigators believe that black metal music may have influenced his actions. He was passionate about the genre, um, and was very active in pagan Facebook groups. And it says that he often commented about Norse mythology and spoke out against organized religion. And he talked about converting from Catholicism to paganism. He complained about Baptists, calling them a bunch of brainwashed people trying to find happiness in a religion that was forced on their ancestors, just as it was mine. So those are some of the things that this guy has said on social media. I really want to find out more about the race dimension to this whole situation. So far, there hasn't been much information provided about that. And then it says that one of his best friends said that he was not racist or was lashing out against black people, which I find hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that he's not racist when he targeted black churches. So his friend went on to say he was never aggressive, mean, racist, or anything like that. He was just a kid who wanted to make music. That's what his friend says. But of course, his friend is going to be biased. But yeah, I just wanted to provide you all with this update. Also, I wanted to just provide some additional commentary. Like I said in the last video on the subject, these white supremacists are the greatest terrorist threat that faces the American people. I mean, there are plenty of reports that talk about this, but instead of addressing the issue of white supremacy and these white nationalists, these white terrorists, the federal government under Trump has decided to solely focus on foreign-based terrorists. And I think that that's a misplaced set of priorities. Of course, you have to monitor these foreign-based terrorists, but you also have to monitor these white supremacists. They are responsible for more violence within the United States than any other terrorist group. It was those white nationalists that that blew up the federal building in Oklahoma, killing hundreds of people. It was white nationalists, white supremacists that went up in that church in Charleston, South Carolina, and killed 9 innocent people. And now you had this situation where the church is being burned to the ground. You had these black churches being targeted, and we know that this is nothing new. Terrorists, white supremacists have always targeted the black church. We know during the civil rights era, they bombed the church in Birmingham, killing 4 black girls. And, this points to just the importance of the church. I know in this day and age, it's popular to attack the church, attack religion, but the church is a strong institution in our community. It is something, even though there are flaws within any institution and there's points of criticism, the fact of the matter is the church remains a strong organization or institution within the black community. And, it's no coincidence that they would target a black church. There was a time when we used to organize in a black church. And even today, you still have churches involved in the modern day civil rights movement, the modern day movement for social justice. So it's no accident that black churches would be targeted. These are institutions where black life is thriving often and where they have various types of programs. It's at the black church where they get people out to vote and all kinds of things, positive things. So, we shouldn't attack the church. We need to protect our churches, protect black churches, regardless of what your faith is. This is not just some attack on the Black church. This is an attack on Black people. And it's time for us to unite. It's time for our places of worship to defend themselves, to be vigilant, not to be so trusting and, have blind faith in humanity, but to be on alert, to be aware of the environment, and to make sure that things like this don't happen, to make sure that things like that shooting that took place in Charleston, South Carolina never happen again. So yeah, I just wanted to provide you all with this brief update. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.